everyone, and welcome to another episode of Little Give. I'm so excited for you to meet Angilie. She's doing some incredible things. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what you're all about.
Hi, everyone. My name is Angilie Kapoor. I am the founder of Oversight Global, which is a conscious leadership coaching company. And I actually just got back from traveling all over the world for the last 3 years. And we settled back here in the US in Southwest Florida. So that's where I'm at right now. We've been here about a month. But I am really about empowering women to realize their full potential and to live their true, authentic lives, careers, businesses that they desire to live. And so I actually come from a background of being in healthcare for over 20 years. Half that time I spent in the management ranks. And about 2019, I decided to pivot and get into coaching. It's what I'm really passionate about, coaching and mentoring others. And so I've been doing that ever since. And I'm so excited to be here with you, Cindy, and have an amazing conversation.
I'm thrilled to speak with you too and dive in deeper into all the things that you're doing. Tell us how it came about that you decided to travel for 3 years. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's something that my husband and I have been talking about for a long time, several years, but we always let excuses kind of get in the way. Like, oh, we have a house we need to take care of. We were working jobs at the time, and and I had health issues at the time that I didn't feel like I could, leave and find the same type of care and treatment in other countries. But after the pandemic and after losing my mother-in-law, we decided, this is really an opportunity and a sign for us to no longer let excuses hold us back, but really take the leap and get out of our comfort zones and explore the amazing world that's out there and all the different cultures and learn different perspectives. And so in December of 2022, we sold everything. We rented out our house, and the first place we went was Bali, Indonesia. And then we hopped to different places, and it was an amazing experience.
Wow, what a cool story. So
Yeah.
what is it about you that made you like comfortable to do that? I mean, did you just like have to do it afraid and just like kind of you
I
just
kind
decide
of
on
did.
doing it?
Yeah, I kind of did when I tell people, because, when we tell people that we did that, they always want to know more. But yeah, I keep telling people that about the first 6 months of us doing that, I was in constant like flight or flight mode. I
Mm.
was like, every time we'd go somewhere new, I think, oh my gosh, what are we doing? What am I doing? We made a wrong decision and I should just go back. But, after getting over that initial fear and really embracing the adventure and being curious and really being open-minded about learning different things and being exposed to different things. It's a very amazing, enlightening experience. I actually now, talk about how traveling, I feel, is one of the main things that I feel is critical for people to really develop their leadership skills. And so, yeah, it was an amazing experience. I would definitely recommend it to everyone to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's really hard to step out of your comfort zone and do something, especially when there's so much uncertainty. And I think
Right.
it happens very common. I know it's happened in my life where instead of me taking the leap of faith and doing something, I say, "Oh, no, 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 that's, it's too risky." So I think it's really neat that you're showcasing your experience to show people that, hey, you can do it and you can make it work.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I know this turned into a business. So tell us a bit about your business.
Yeah, so as I kind of mentioned in my intro, I actually come from a background of being in healthcare for over 20 years, and I was on both the clinical and non-clinical side. Obviously, I rose the ranks in the career ladder of leadership and management. I was in healthcare management for over 10 years, but I've always kind of my entire life have kind of had this feeling that I'm kind of missing out on something. There's this secret that nobody has shared with me, and I kind of always felt like I wasn't utilizing all of my gifts to the fullest extent, or really living up to my fullest potential. So always, kind of in the back of my mind, I was like, something's missing. But anyway, I was being groomed to couldn't continue going up the corporate ladder in healthcare management. And I kind of had this pivotal moment of Do I want to continue to go this route? Even though I was in some of the top ranks in the company that I was in, I still was not feeling like I was fulfilling my fullest potential, and I just couldn't figure out what I was missing. But anyway, I really kind of had this moment of really deep introspection and really thinking, okay, do I want to continue, or do I want to maybe pivot and try something else? And that's really when I started focusing on what I was really passionate about, what I did. And that was always coaching and mentoring and training others. And so that's how I started to explore the coaching industry. I actually went to professional coaching training for a year, and then decided to take the leap, quit my job, and started my own coaching business. And so that's really how I got into it. And it's definitely evolved over the years. I started coaching fellow healthcare managers that were women at the time. And then that evolved to me coaching everyone in all kinds of different industries. And it then morphed into not just coaching for the professional workplace, but then really, helping people in all aspects of their lives. And so that's how it's kind of evolved. Also evolved into me writing some books. My latest one is a Leader Mindset Activation, which is a book on mindset and how, my developing my own mindset and discovering my own mindset and helping others has really helped me be able to be where I'm at and continue to grow. And also starting a TV show podcast last year, Unveil Your Brilliance. And so, continuing to evolve and grow and try new things. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at now.
Hi, my name is Justin Clark, and I'm the president of the board of directors for Driving Single Parents, a 501c3 nonprofit serving the citizens of San Antonio and Bexar County, Texas. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about the great work that our organization is doing for the citizens of San Antonio. What you're about to see is just a few photos and videos of the way that we're changing lives for single parents in and around San Antonio, Texas. Our first giveaway took place in April of 2017, just one short month after the formation of our organization. John, a Bexar County resident, was the victim of a horrible drunk driver incident. He and his daughter survived the crash, and we were so proud to give our first car to this deserving family. Fast forward to 2020, a very difficult year for nonprofits. We were able to secure 4 vehicles for single parents in need. Our organization, including our board of directors, list of partners, and portfolio of people we've been able to help in San Antonio, continues to grow, and it's all thanks to donors and local community organizations that have helped us along the way. This giveaway took place in 2021 and shows that we continue to help single parents even after the struggles brought about by COVID-19. Because of limited funds and the overwhelming need, we at Driving Single Parents are incredibly selective with the people we help. Some are victims of domestic violence. Others had a spouse pass away tragically, or otherwise fell on hard times. These single parents show adversity in the face of challenge and aren't looking for a handout. We offer a hand up and help get them back in the driver's seat. Many of the single parents we help go on to graduate college, get promotions, get married, mentor others, and some have even been so touched by the gift we gave them that they have decided to join our board of directors to pay it forward and ensure the continued growth of our organization. If you would like to help our organization continue to grow and continue to help single parents in need in San Antonio, Texas, and Bexar County, Texas, we would really appreciate your support. Please visit us online at www.drivingsingleparents.org. Thank you.
Wow, that's incredible. So what made you decide to write a book? I mean, that's not an easy feat. What gave you the idea like, okay, I'm going to put this on paper?
Yeah. I mean, definitely the book, as well as the TV show podcast were some things that I had, great uncertainty and fear about. In fact, I would never, like 2 years ago, never would have imagined I'd be doing something like this, let alone have my own TV show. But the book, I mean, I kind of went for full circle. As a child, I really loved writing. I had this amazing third grade teacher, Mrs. B, that was really into writing, and she loved to focus her students on honing their writing and their language skills. And so I really got into that. I mean, going through middle school and high school, I was always part of the newspapers and the yearbook, and always in these advanced lit classes and stuff like that. So it was always been a love for me that, as I started to go through adulthood, I kind of lost sight of that passion and that gift. And so, kind of after going on my self-discovery journey, and really learning about me, and discovering who I am and my passions and my values, I really circled back around to, hey, I had this dream of writing a book and being an author and doing, journalism type things. And so that's when I kind of jumped in and wrote my first book, which is the book before this one. It's called Mindset, The Power of the Mind, which is really an introduction on mindset and what I learned and discovered. And then this latest one, Leader Mindset Activation, is more of the strategy that I've taken with my own mindset, and the same strategy that I work with my clients and other people in helping them to, recognize what mindset is, where theirs is, and how to shift it so that it's really helping them and working with them, instead of, most of the time our mindsets, when we're not aware of it, are working against us. So.
Yeah, so true. I love how you told the story about the third grade teacher. It just goes with the theme of this show, which is like that little thing she did really made an impact on you and in your whole
Exactly.
life, and then went on to make a ripple effect into other people's lives because of all the people you've helped with your books. So that's
Exactly.
amazing. That's awesome. What is your favorite part about being an author?
I think what you just said is that how the books that I've created, the words that I put in it, the strategies that I've come up with, and have discovered, really help other people. And that's also why I love coaching and mentoring. Is being able to share your experiences and your talents, and how they really help others to be able to make discoveries and grow, and be able to do things that they before never thought were possible for them. That's always my favorite part, is watching how it really enriches other people's lives, and how it helps them to move forward and grow and become successful in themselves. So.
I love that. Love it so much. So give us a golden nugget from your book about leadership and how that really does work hand in hand with your mindset.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I learned early on in my coaching career from my clients was that, the reason why I really work from a holistic aspect, and no longer just we're helping people on their careers and in their professional lives, is that I started to recognize that leadership isn't just for the workplace or in your career, right? It's not a title, it's not a destination. It's really about you discovering that you have, I call it, a phenomenal leader within you, in each of us. We all have this inner phenomenal leader within each of us, because I believe that all of us are meant to be leaders of ourselves and in our own lives at minimum. If we're called to lead teams in the workplace, or lead in your community, or whatever it might be. But it all starts from within. One of the mottos that we're always saying with my company is that you can only lead others as effectively as you lead yourself. So it really starts with mastering self leadership, and then rippling that out to be able to effectively, consciously lead other people in a good way. And so, even though there's always been these kind of myths about, there's only certain people can lead, or only certain people are meant to lead, that everybody can't do it. I don't believe that. I believe that we all have the capabilities to lead. And it's just kind of finding that phenomenal leader within us, and tapping into that, and then letting that flourish and grow, which is part of really helping us to fulfill our fullest potential of who we are, and who we are able to be.
Yes, absolutely. And that little shift in the mindset can really make a big difference because, whenever you're a kid, you're being led by your parents. And then whenever you go to school, you're being led by teachers and administrators. And then whenever you go to the workplace, you're being led by a supervisor or, whoever. So it's constantly throughout the way that we're raised and conditioned is being led by somebody else. And so we have 5 daughters and 1 son. And I always tell them, I always say, what if you are the leader that you've been seeking all along? It's
Exactly.
you are the leader, and that is true. What you're saying is anybody can do it, but it does take that shift in the mindset to move away from always being led to being a leader. So I
Exactly.
love that you wrote this book, and thank you for sharing that tip with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit more about this TV show podcast you have and how that came to be.
Oh my gosh. So, like I mentioned, having a TV show and a podcast was something I never dreamed of doing. I mean, it's a desire that I had that I felt like was kind of years, out. I actually am, since a very young age, I've always been a very serious introvert. I've always been very quiet, kind of the person in the corner, never really spoke up or shared what I thought or felt, just kind of really the observer, the fly on the wall. And so, being able to do things like this. And also, I'm involved with speaking professionally. And then, of course, having my own TV show. It's really been, again, part of my self discovery journey of knowing me and getting comfortable with who I am and really building my confidence to be able to do these types of things now, which before I've never, been able to do. I couldn't have imagined that I'd be doing things like that. But the TV show kind of fell into my lap accidentally. I was actually got onto somebody else's TV show for the very first time. I didn't even know that you could be interviewed on TV shows before, a couple of years ago. But I appeared on his TV show, and when we were done with our interview, he said, you have an amazing personality, and you'd be great hosting your own TV show. And so that's how it kind of started. I was like, kind of piqued my interest, and we, got together for a chat, and he filled me in on what's involved and things like that. And so I said, okay, yeah, I don't believe in coincidences. So I definitely took it as a sign of, okay, maybe this is an opportunity that I should give a try. And so I did that. And I love having my own TV show and having different guests on and learning from them and having them share their time and, their experience and their talents and being able to share that with people who follow me and watch the show. So it's really just also another avenue that I feel is an opportunity for people to get to really know me and who I am, kind of in a more intimate setting instead of, just following me on social media or checking out my website.
Hi, my name is Andrew Fraley, and I believe that sometimes we all need a little bit of help. If you're in the San Antonio community and you need some legal help, call me at 210-725-4658.
Yeah, well, I love how you share the story, and you're so honest in saying that, at first, whenever you were presented with these ideas that you're like, oh, I couldn't do that, or I don't know if I could do that, or I hadn't thought about that, but then you're willing to do it anyways.
Mhm.
And I love that about your story, and you're sharing that with the world where everybody else can see that, hey, you can do that too. And I love to say that some of the things that I've done that have worked out the best in my life are things I've done with shaky hands.
Yeah,
Because I've
exactly.
been terrified, but then said, I'm just going to do it. And I have never regretted any of those decisions. It sounds like you're kind of in that same boat.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really taking on a different perspective and having a mindset shift in regards to fear. A lot of us, I know, very for most of my life, I've let fear like hinder me and hold me back from doing things and really keeping me stuck. But really coming to a point to where you recognize that, hey, okay, I'm having a different relationship with fear, letting it be a catalyst instead of something that keeps you stuck and hinders you. In understanding that, the fear mechanism is really our mind's subconscious way of, protecting us because it's part of our, survival mode. But at the same time, recognizing when we have fear and how we can actually utilize it and why we're having it and being able to, again, utilize it to help us instead of continuing to hinder us. That's really where I've kind of grown and started to understand that from a different perspective. And, like you're saying, I mean, I get encountered, I have fear with all kinds of things, but instead of letting it stop me, really embracing it and saying, okay, I'm scared, but I can push through it. And then, like you, different things and situations that I've been put in or have tried, they've been successful and have worked out for the best. And I never would have known that if I didn't push through the fear and take that leap.
Absolutely. So some people say that fear and excitement are the same emotion. Would you agree with that?
I think so, yeah, because one year, is more of a negative emotion and the other is more of a positive one. It's kind of like I say the same thing about complaining and expressing gratitude. It's the same effort and the same energy, but one's negative and one's positive. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
Can you give the audience an example of a little thing that they can do in their community that might just be a little give on their end, but might make a big impact on the other side?
So, I think what I just mentioned, practicing gratitude. It's something that, we're all capable of doing. It's something that's super easy, doesn't take a lot of time, and we all know how to do. We don't need to go to school for a degree or take any special type of training. But, I learned that, again, it's really the same energy of us complaining or being appreciative. And a lot of the times, just by human nature, we tend to complain about things we don't have or only focusing on things that we want rather than really being grateful and recognizing the things that we do have. But, if you really kind of have that presence of mind and have that awareness and really start to practice gratitude, it shifts your mindset almost instantly. It also puts you in a higher frequency of energy. And it really kind of, puts out this kind of vibe, this feel good vibe to people around you. And, when you're in a good mood, you're going to, treat others well and be kind and compliment people and, say hi to strangers and things like that. So I think that's my little tip. It's something super easy. We can all do it anywhere at any time, is just practice gratitude. And it doesn't have to be something big. It can be something very small. Like, I'm glad that I have this pen, something small, but really getting into that mindset and practicing something that's so simple yet so powerful.
That's a great tip. Gratitude really can change the entire day for you and then the people around you. I'm a big believer that when you show up into a room, your energy shows up before you do. And
Exactly.
you can really tell if somebody's not in the best mood or they're having a rough day. If you have somebody walk into a room with gratitude and a smile and they're positive, it makes you feel more comfortable or makes everybody in the room feel a bit more comfortable. So I think it's a great little give.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you give the audience an example of a time in your life where somebody did something little for you? It might have just been a little give on their end, but really made an impact on you and in your life.
Yeah, I think sometimes the smallest things that people can do that have the biggest impact is, actually pay attention to you and kind of get out of their own heads and what's going on in their lives and saying, "Hey, how are you?" and be genuine about it, not have it be just a common greeting that they use, but really wanting to know, how is the person, or giving somebody a hug, just spontaneously receiving a hug can change, your entire day, especially if you're having a bad day. But yeah, small gestures like that, just people being genuine and saying hello and asking me how I am and really wanting to genuinely know, and just giving me a hug, just recognizing, just having that instinct and intuition that, Angilie needs a hug right now. So
Yeah, also another great example. And some people think, well, that's just way too easy. That wouldn't really do anything. And everybody listening, you'd be so shocked how that little thing. I can't tell you how many times where I've been having a really rough morning, who knows what happened. And then I have somebody genuinely give me a compliment or say, "Are you doing okay?" or "How are you?" or "Can I help you with something?" or like you said, a hug. That can shift your entire day. And then guess what? You show up better throughout the day for everybody else in your life.
yes,
So I love that
absolutely.
example. So can you
Absolutely.
give the audience an example of a nonprofit that you're excited about?
Yeah, so I actually used to do a lot of volunteer work. I went through a phase where I really wanted to get involved with kids. I was part of reading partners for a few months, and then I found this amazing place called Vine Maple Place, and they're actually located in Seattle, Washington, which is actually where we used to live before we took off and started traveling the world. But I volunteered with them for several months in terms of tutoring tutoring kids. So they work with a lot of homeless population. A lot of the population that they work with is, mothers with young kids who are going through domestic situations. And so tutoring those children, helped the moms immensely, and it helped the kids. A lot of those kids were very emotionally traumatized. So it was something that I had to get used to. But it's an amazing organization that is doing so much good every day. And I wanted to highlight them because they are a small organization, but they have such an amazing impact. And so I wanted to get their name out there and make more people aware that they exist and the amazing work that they do. So it's buyingmabelplace.org.
Oh, I love it. I love shining a light on all nonprofits, but the little ones have a little special place in my heart because they're the ones that have such heart and mission as well. It's just like any nonprofit, but they have a much smaller budget to really get their message out there. And I believe you can have the best business in the world, the best nonprofit in the world, but if nobody knows about it, it's very hard to be successful. So I love that I am able to use this platform as a springboard to really kind of shine a light on these amazing nonprofits. So thank you so much for sharing this one.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having this platform so that we can do that. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. So why don't you tell the audience where they can find you, get to know more? They can watch your TV show. They can listen to the podcast. They can read your books. They can seek out your services. I mean, you have so much going on. Give them all the details.
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way to do that is just to go to my website. It's oversightglobal.com. And there you will find everything. Books. I also have some courses. You can check out the coaching services that I offer. I also do corporate trainings. And you can also find links to various magazines and other podcasts I'm on, as well as my own TV show and podcast that you can check out on YouTube or also other podcast streaming services.
Love it. All right, everybody who's watching today, she told you all the places you can find her. Go learn more, seek out her services, read those books and watch that show. And I have no doubt that you're going to love everything that she's all about. As far as the nonprofit, go visit that website. And if that's something you're passionate about, go make a donation. $1 or $5 multiplied by all of you viewers out there makes a huge difference to these nonprofits. Thank you all so much for watching. And thank you, Angilie, for being on today and sharing a bit of your story with us. We're so grateful.
Well, thank you so much, Cindy. Such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. All right, everyone. We'll see you next week. If you enjoyed this episode of Little Give, head on over to our website at littlegive.com. You'll be able to find all the information about previous episodes and past guests that we've had on. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on Little Give, all the information is also on the website. And if you have a nonprofit that you love and would like to recommend be on the show, all of that information is also on the website. We really appreciate you watching today, and we can't wait to see you again next week.